Hey everyone, as you can see, I'm here standing in front of the Forest Lawn sign. This is the Forest Lawn in Glendale, California, which is not far from Hollywood, California. There are just so many famous and interesting people to visit here that you can't visit them all in one trip. So that's why I'm back here today. In the past year, many of you have asked me to visit the gravesite of actor Hugh O'Brien, who starred in the very popular 1950s and 60s TV Western, The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp. So that's who I'm here to visit today. Thanks for joining me on another trip to visit the most memorable cemeteries, memorials, and gravesites. To find O'Brien's gravesite, you drive all the way up to the top of the hill to the very last mausoleum, which is the Court of Freedom Mausoleum, and you follow this path to the Garden of Everlasting Peace courtyard. His final resting place is just inside the archway and straight ahead. If you're not familiar with O'Brien, then you're probably not a baby boomer. He appeared in more than 100 movies and TV shows over his 7-decade career, but he's probably best remembered for his role as Western lawman Wyatt Earp on the popular TV show The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, which ran from 1955 to 1961. I visited the gravesite of the real-life Wyatt Earp last year up in San Francisco, and I'll put a link down below this video in case you haven't already seen it. O'Brien was born in Rochester, New York on April 19, 1925, and died in Beverly Hills, California, September 5, 2016, at the age of 91. You may remember that I was here in this courtyard last year to visit the grave sites of actor Clayton Moore, who played the Lone Ranger on TV, and movie star Errol Flynn. Standing and facing O'Brien's grave, if you look straight ahead to the very end of the courtyard, Clayton Moore's final resting place, it's just this side of the white statue. And Errol Flynn's gravesite is just to the right of the white bench. The funny thing is, when I was here last year, I had no idea that Hugh O'Brien's gravesite was located right here. I walked past it a couple of times, not knowing it was even here. Unfortunately, that's not the first time I've done that in a cemetery, and I'm sure it won't be the last. While doing a little bit of research for this vlog, I discovered that Hugh O'Brien was only married once. According to his Wikipedia page, he was 81 when he got married here in this cemetery in one of the chapels. It didn't say which chapel, and I think there's 2 or 3 chapels here. And the ceremony was officiated by the Reverend Robert Schuller. In the past, I have mentioned that quite a few famous people have been married in this cemetery, including Ronald Reagan. So have any of you been married in a cemetery? And if so, which cemetery? Please share with us down below in the comments section. You know, I love cemeteries, so I think it's a perfect place to get married, but I'm a little surprised that others do as well. I guess traditionally most people have gotten married in churches, and at least back in the day, most churches had graveyards, so I guess it makes sense. It's just, at least here in California, I don't see a lot of churches with graveyards anymore. Maybe that's just here where I live. Maybe it's still common in other parts of the country and in the world. If you haven't been married in a cemetery, is it something you'd consider? I'm really curious. And this week I'd like to thank my latest Patreon supporters, LaWanda Ann and Stuart Chastain. Thanks for your generous contributions to this channel. I appreciate it. And if any of you would like to support this channel, I'll put the link to my Patreon page down below this video. And I'd also like to thank Big Bill Anderson for sending me a couple of photos to share with you. After watching my Munsters vlog, he sent me this photo taken of him and Al Lewis back in 1992. Lewis, of course, played Grandpa Munster on the show, and by all accounts seemed to be a real fun guy in real life, and this photo certainly confirms that. And after watching my Rawhide vlog, he sent me this photo of himself at age 6 in 1962 in Detroit as a young cowpoke on his first pony. This reminded me that I had my own picture on a pony back in the 1960s. I guess it was just the thing to do back then. The milkman delivered milk to your doorstep, Helm's Bakery delivered bread to your doorstep, and photographers delivered ponies for pony rides and portraits. So if you're a baby boomer who grew up in the 1960s, I'm guessing it's a pretty good chance that you have a photo like this yourself. Remembering just how popular cowboys and Western movies and TV shows were back in the day is a real trip down memory lane. Okay, so once again, thanks for joining me today on my cemetery tour. And if you enjoyed this tour tour today, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to be alerted when I upload videos like this in the future. And I'll hope to see you next time.